Pakenham's Kevin Ryan is an active golfer and curler with a big, beautiful family and a legion of friends. And Kevin is so grateful for a day he barely remembers, and for those who brought him back to life.
Kevin Ryan knows why he's alive today.
I was in the right place at the right time with the right people around.
People who saved his life. Right here on the ice.
They were there, and they didn't hesitate, thank God.
Well, the game began, and a few ends in, the game changed.
Yeah, it was scary.
Something you'll never forget, that's for sure.
It was a Monday night playoff game at the Arnprior Curling Club.
And I was calling the Skips Rock into the house when I went over.
I looked around and I could see that Kevin was down, and I knew right away it was bad.
Instantly you kind of realized that, there were no vitals and he wasn't breathing.
It was pretty obvious that he was gone.
You're kind of in shock and you're just going, this can't be happening, it's not real. But it was real.
Love you.
Gail Gray, a retired nurse and Kevin's friend and neighbor, shouted for someone to call 911. She began CPR and mouth-to-mouth, fueled by thoughts of Kevin's wife Karen and their grandkids.
And a flash of Karen and the boys went through my brain, and I thought, well, I'm in 100%.
As was Steve Hailstone, who activated a defibrillator.
Shocked him, and then he was back up.
They did their magic, and he's still with us.
Kevin's wife Karen was at home, first heard the news from her brother, who was at the rink.
My brother said it's the worst call he's ever made in his life.
Karen rushed to Arnprior Hospital to wait for Kevin's arrival by ambulance.
I remember Karen at the door, and that was good.
I just grabbed his hand and I said, we got this. We've got this together.
As doctors confirmed his cardiac arrest, Kevin summoned the courage to go on.
I thought, well, I'm still here, but will I be here in the morning? And I remember telling Karen I wanted to be here in the morning just to watch my grandsons grow up.
Kevin was transported to the University of Ottawa Heart Institute.
I was just so thankful that that's where he was.
Dr. Mark Ruel would be Kevin's surgeon.
He said, Kevin, your maker came for you, but you cheated him. 1 in 10 would survive what happened to you.
His arteries fully or partially blocked, Kevin would need open heart surgery, a triple bypass.
He says, I fully expect you to fully recover and be able to do what you're doing before. You were active before, you should be active after.
A world in the grip of COVID would mean Kevin would go through the surgery without his family by his side.
It was the toughest thing not to be there.
But the surgery was a success.
I can't say enough about the Heart Institute. We are so lucky. Those folks, they just couldn't do enough for you. True professionals.
One of those professionals, Kevin's family member, who took a photo of Kevin post-surgery and sent it to Karen.
I thought he looked wonderful. Color was good, and I thought, oh, wow. And this is just like basically the day after surgery. So I thought, okay, we got this.
Kevin headed home to Pakenham, but not his home. Karen had COVID, so Kevin would stay with his brother just a few doors away.
I know they were really nervous about that, and they probably called Karen a whole bunch of times, but they were, they were good.
It was wonderful, it was emotional, it was hard, but it was great. He was home.
Pretty emotional day, but...
Eventually, a chance to say thanks to those who saved him.
He sat and looked at me for what seemed like the longest time, and then he just stood up, walked towards me, and he said, I just have to give you a hug. So I'm gonna cry.
Steve Hailstone, who shocked Kevin back to life, is a 2-time patient of the University of Ottawa Heart Institute. He first saw Kevin again at the club.
That was pretty emotional, I gotta say, because I gave him a hug, and it was nice. Yeah, it was nice.
What were the emotions about for you?
I don't know, just that he's there.
There to say thank you for taking care of his heart.
I'm here because they were there.
A gift from life-saving friends and a world-class institute.
They saved Kevin's life and have given us a future together. We're so, so grateful, and we're so lucky.
Kevin and Karen, thanks so much for sharing your powerful story. Now, the Ryans and their friends and family support the University of Ottawa Heart Institute, and they're hoping you'll do the same and have your donation matched at februaryisheartmonth.ca.